This over here is a MacBook Air M3, and this costs less than $1,000. And this is a very, very popular laptop. But here's the thing, a lot of people's upgrade to this, which is a $5,000 MacBook Pro, because it's got the ports that you might not need. It supports the displays that this one doesn't, because officially the MacBook Air, according to Apple, this M3 model, only supports one external display when the lid is open, just like that. When you close it, you can run two. The M4 supports two external displays with the lid open. But what if I told you that you can run everything you need, what this MacBook Pro offers, and why a lot of people switch to the MacBook Pro, upgrade, pay thousands more? What if you could do it all on a MacBook Air? External display support, what if it's possible over there? Well, it actually is. So in this video, I'm gonna show you how you can get all the Pro features on the MacBook Air. And if you're a Windows guy and you don't like Apple content, then there's something for you in the end of the video as well. I wanna say special thanks for Anker for supporting crazy ideas like this to make them happen and to actually showcase to you that you can actually save money. Links for Anker's special sauce in the video description below. Go check them out. So in order to achieve some crazy monitors, as you've seen from the thumbnail, and I'll show you that in a minute, how I managed to do that with my MacBook Air, we're gonna talk about the guy that powers and allows us all to do that and allows us the displays. It's got so much more up its sleeve than just the displays, and I'll quickly run these through with you. So this is the Anker dock, voila. And then if we look at it, one of the biggest difference and cool things about this is that you've got this display and then that little knob on the side here. So you've got settings. Obviously you go in there, you'll find lots of other things. You see the power. So this power is really cool because that shows you how much power we're going to put onto our laptop, and also through these front USB-C ports. And then you can see which HDMI or display port is connected and see if the power is going through there. But I like to see the power, for example, to see how fast is my phone going to be charging. Boom. As you can see, I'm charging the phone at 7 watts. Obviously it's 99%, so it doesn't need that much power, but it's cool to see. The thing is, all of these front panel USB-C ports can support 100-watt power delivery. Now, that doesn't mean that you can add the back and the front together and get 240 or 540 watts through there. That's not really the case. The thing is, when talking about the power, this back USB-C port that you should connect to the computer and use the included cable, because not every cable will be compatible with it. That supports 140 watts if your laptop supports that. The MacBook Air supports only 70 watts, so it gives you that. The rest of the power of 160 watts can be delivered through the front USB-C port. So we've got a headphone jack, SD card reader, micro and full-size SD card reader. In the back, we've got 2.5 gigabit LAN, USB Type A port, so this is 2.0, and then 3.05 gigabits ports, display, 2 HDMI, and then that goes to the computer. Again, use the included cable for that. Not all cables work for that. Then you got a little fan grill in there. By the way, if you do want to utilize even more screens, I highly recommend checking out some of these mini Anker kind of USB-C hubs as well that have HDMI port, because you're not going to be using all of the USB-C ports in there, and you'll see that in a minute. You might need these as well. I'll leave these linked in the description below, as well as the full dock if you want to check it out. Now let me show you this in full action and what it can do. You'll be surprised. So then, the big reveal, how many displays did I get connected? And I want to tell you this much as well, that this is not the maximum amount that you can get connected, but I just ran out of things, and I think normal people don't need any more. So I thought we'll probably stop here, but theoretically you can get even more. But first, to prove that everything is real, that these are just not on, I don't know, playing something else, I'm gonna go to display settings here on my Mac. And as you can see, if I go arrange, you can see all of them different ones are in here. They're all extending the screen right now. So what you can see everywhere else, stuff is happening. In fact, that monitor over there is playing back a video. So you can see that it's real. I tried to do it on all of them and there was some issues, so I'll talk about that in a minute. But everything is there, it's possible. The MacBook Air is on as well. I'm screen recording this, as you can see. So this should not be possible according to Apple. This should only support one external display. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 external displays plus the internal display working as well, which is absolutely insane. And now I'm going to show you how did I do it. I've got 2 plugs plugged into the MacBook Air. Okay, one of them is this Anker little dock, and basically what that allows me to do is just connect the USB-C, turn it into an HDMI cable. So basically the MacBook Air thinks that, okay, there's only one external HDMI connected, which is this Anker little one in there. There's different ones. There's a slightly different one from Anker as well. They didn't actually send me these. I bought them myself to actually test how many can I get working. And then the other one is the main upstream port for this Anker dock, and I'll show you this here now. So you can see the dock is here, and this is where everything is connected. Obviously the main power is connected to this one, and then this is the port here that runs all the way to our MacBook Air port just in there. Then I've got 3 display outputs from this very dock. So if you wanted to, you could really keep it really simple. Just the MacBook Air, 1 cable that goes into the dock, 3 monitor cables out, and then have the biggest ones out there. By the way, this one here is a 4K monitor. This is 1080p, that's 1440p actually in the back there. So they're all just full resolution, if that makes sense. And then these are 1080p, all of it in here. But just 3, that's fine. 2 of them HDMI, this is DisplayPort. And then I've got these 2 ports here, and these are USB 3.0 or 3.1 connection, which is 5 gigabits per second. And then I found these kind of display adapters online. What they in essence are just USB type A to HDMI. And that should not really work, okay? Because you can't really just do that. There is some kind of a display little chip inside that makes the USB port just send video signal in there as well. What you do is basically you connect this to the dock, which then the laptop recognizes, and then if you don't have anything installed, it just becomes like a USB drive on the side of your Mac port there, and you can just click on the DMG, there's like an install file, you install it, and then is just working. There's a Windows file there as well, but make sure that you use the Mac one if you're using it on Mac. And then these 2 literally just pulling 5 gigabits per second USB type A into 2 HDMI ports, which are these 2 monitors in here. Okay, that one's working and that one is working there as well. Then obviously I've got the USB type A, just a charging port to charge this monitor here. So that is fully powered on USB type A. That 4K one requires a little bit more power, so that's externally, and obviously these are over there separately. In the front here, I do have this plugged in here into that, but I don't think I actually need that. I was just charging my phone in the front there, which is really nice. Let's talk about the issues and the downsides here now. So what I found is that if you want to just use them as, I don't know, looking at screens, or you're looking at big files, perhaps just doing research on lots of different screens, it's completely fine. If you want to, I don't know, get higher refresh rate or play lots of video back, something's gonna start to struggle. So as you can see, I've got that video playing in the back there, and that's working completely fine. But where I got into some issues was when I was trying to play a video back through these USB type A connectors here as well. So this HDMI that sends another video file. So when I put another video on a YouTube playing on one of these small monitors, which is 1080p, just through there, it started to struggle on this one because I think there's data, like kind of throughput issue in there, and it can't just put that much data through onto these monitors. So I wouldn't recommend that. But if you want to just see spreadsheets, or perhaps you need to see lots of kind of laid out information, browser data, then it's going to be fine. But I think if you're expecting high refresh rate, that's where this becomes an issue. Also, I promised in the beginning of the video that there's something for Windows guys. So if you don't like Mac, and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I just wasted all my time watching this video, then actually it's not wasted. You can do this same thing on a Windows laptop. So you've got something, plug in the USB-C, it starts to charge your laptop, and you're gonna be completely fine doing that on Windows as well. So as you can see, you might not need the MacBook Pro, but MacBook Air is just fine for you. If you found this one helpful, go check out these links, what I'm talking about, in the video description below. And if you enjoyed fixing the display issue, you probably also enjoyed the video where I fix the storage issue for the Macs. Thanks guys for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next video. Again, thanks Anker for partnering up for this video so we can make crazy videos like these. Okay, bye. Bye-bye.